Ryan's breath was so close to my ear that it sent a shiver down my spine. "You smell and look amazing," he whispered, and I froze. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst out of my chest. My brain screamed at me to run, to get away, but I couldn't move. I didn't want to move. My name is Emma, and this is a story about how everything changed. When I was 9, I lost my mom in a car accident. It shattered my world, leaving me in a dark place for 3 long years. By the time I was 12, I had entered the confusing world of adolescence. It was a lonely period. I didn't have many friends, and I spent most of my time with my dad. He worked long hours, but whenever he could, he made time for me. I clung to that comfort, and we got through those years together. But as I grew older, things started to change. I noticed how my dad began paying more attention to his appearance. He'd stand in front of the mirror longer, fixing his hair and adjusting his tie before heading to work. At first, I thought it was nothing, but after a few months, he sat me down one evening. "Emma," he said, his voice gentle yet uncertain, "I've been seeing someone, and I'm thinking about getting married." I didn't like the idea at first. No one could ever replace my mom. But as I thought about it, I realized my dad deserved to be happy too. Eventually, I agreed, and a few months later, he married her in a simple ceremony. Suddenly, we had a new family, my stepmom and her son, Ryan. Ryan was close to my age. He had this way of looking at me, something in his eyes that always made me feel uneasy. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it felt like he was watching me too closely, studying me. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling never left. One night, my dad and stepmom went out for a business dinner, leaving Ryan and me alone. The house was eerily quiet, so I decided to take a long, hot shower to unwind. As the steam enveloped me, I felt that strange sensation of being watched. We've all had that feeling at some point, right? But this time, it was different, more intense, more real. I brushed it off, telling myself I was just being paranoid. Then I heard a creak, like the bathroom door opening. My head snapped toward the shower curtain, but no one was there. My heart raced as I finished my shower and slipped into my robe. The unease lingered, but I tried to shake it off. As I stepped out of the bathroom and headed to my room, I felt warm breath against my neck. I froze. "You smell and look amazing," Ryan's voice whispered. I spun around to find him standing right behind me. Panic surged through me and I rushed to my room, slamming the door behind me. But something inside me felt different. It wasn't just fear. It was something I couldn't quite understand. Something unsettling, but not entirely unpleasant. I quickly got dressed in a tank top and shorts, my heart still pounding. A knock on the door made me jump. "Hey, Emma," Ryan said. "Can we talk? I'm feeling kind of restless." I hesitated, but then I said, "Yeah, sure, come in." Ryan walked in, and there was a small, knowing smile on his face. I didn't say anything about it. We started talking, just normal conversation at first, but it soon grew more personal. "Have you ever had a boyfriend?" he asked, his voice low and curious. I blushed, feeling embarrassed, but the adolescent in me wanted to share. I stumbled through some stories, and he listened intently. Then Ryan leaned in, his eyes narrowing slightly. "I have this feeling you're lying," he said teasingly. I felt my face heat up. "No, I'm not lying," I insisted, my voice shaky. He moved closer, placing his hand gently on my knee. "You always bounce your legs when you're nervous," he said, his voice soft. My breath caught in my throat, and I didn't know what to say. But his touch on my skin sent a thrill through me, one I couldn't deny. Ryan leaned in further, and before I knew it, he kissed me. I was too shocked to react at first, but then I let myself get lost in the moment, returning his kiss. Everything else faded away as we drew closer, and our actions spiraled from there. It was a blur, and afterward, I felt a deep sense of shame and confusion. I pushed him out of my room and cried myself to sleep. A week later, it happened again. And again. Every time our parents left, we found ourselves repeating that forbidden connection. I hated how conflicted I felt. Part of me knew it was wrong, but another part couldn't help craving it. Dialogue and confusion. One evening, we were sitting on my bed, the air between us thick with tension. "Is this really okay?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Ryan sighed, his eyes searching mine. "I don't know," he admitted, "but what I feel is real. I never want to hurt you." His honesty made everything more complicated. "If I told my dad, what would happen?" I asked, my voice cracking with fear. I didn't want to lose Ryan, but the weight of our secret was suffocating. He lowered his head, his jaw tight. "You don't have to tell anyone," he said softly, "but whatever happens, we'll figure it out together." I nodded, but deep down, I didn't know how we could. Our story was tangled in a web of confusion and desire, and I wasn't sure how, or if, it would ever untangle. That's where our story stands. I don't know how it will end, but I'm still here, waiting to find out.